Good morning, everyone. Salam Merdeka. We're very happy to be here, and we'd like to just welcome you all to Radio Days Asia, the 5th edition of our conference here in KL. My name is Nessa McGann, and I'm the head of program for Radio Days Asia, and I am so delighted to be finally here after months and months of hard work putting together a conference program that I really think is outstanding. And I'm so happy that you're all here to hear about the topics in the worlds of radio, audio, and podcasting that are really igniting our interest across the globe. We will have sessions on talent, on breakfast, on AI, on sales, on research. We will have workshops on sustainability, more AI, podcasting, and even some structured networking opportunities for you all to meet with each other, chat, discuss ideas, and importantly, ask the experts the questions that you want to know the answers for. We're delighted to have you here. We're delighted to see so many people from around the world, and we're also delighted to have our local Malaysian friends and partners, and they are friends now. We've been working here for so long. I'm not going to speak for very long. There will be a few speeches this morning for our opening session, and then we will move into the first session at 10 o'clock. I'd just like to thank you for joining us here. I hope you enjoy the conference. I hope it provides you with new information, with better ways of doing business, with exciting new relationships, and with a chance to listen to and understand different perspectives from around the world, but especially from those in this region. And without further ado, I would like to welcome some speakers to the stage. I'll come on and come off and introduce them as they go. But first, and most importantly, I am most delighted to welcome Datuk Mohamad Fauzi bin Isa, who's Chief Secretary at the Ministry of Communications for Malaysia. Thank you, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Niegel, Radiodays Europe, Radiodays North America, and Radiodays Asia CEO, Ms. Rosie Smith, Radiodays Europe, Radiodays North America, and Radiodays Asia co-CEO and Director of Communications, Mr. Anders Hell, founder of Radiodays Asia and Radiodays Europe, Ms. Olya Booyar, Head of Radio at the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, or in short ABU, Mr. Nazri Noran, President of Commercial Radio Malaysia, CRM, Mr. Christian Potter, CEO of Public Media Alliance, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning and salam Malaysia Madani. Selamat datang. Welcome to KL, Malaysia for Radio Days Asia 2024. It is a pleasure to receive all of you who have journeyed from near and far to be here today. We are truly honored to be hosting this illustrious event in KL once more, and it is my pleasure to be here with all of you. This gathering brings together some of the brightest minds and most creative talents in the world of radio, audio, and podcasting. Since its inception, Radio Days Asia has become a vital platform for industry professionals to exchange ideas, explore new trends, and shape the future of audio media in the region and beyond. Therefore, I look forward to thought-provoking conversation that will bring about useful sharing as well as industry insight, which are expected to be beneficial to everyone here. The importance of this event cannot be more overstated, especially as we stand at the crossroads of rapid technological advancements and shifting consumer behaviors. Malaysia places great value in the power of communication, and the radio is no exception. For our nation, radio is not just a medium for entertainment and information, but a trusted companion in our daily life that connects our diverse communities. Despite the emergence of new digital platforms, radio remains resilient, adapting to the times while continuing to serve as a reliable source of news and a platform for cultural expression. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's digital landscape, the theme of Radiodays Asia is significant. As technology continues to shape and redefine our world, we must adapt and evolve, which also preserving the core values and principles that have made radio an indispensable part of our life. The rise of podcasting, the integration of artificial intelligence or AI, and the shift toward digital platform have all contributed to an audio landscape that is more dynamic and competitive than ever before. As we look to the future, it is imperative that we embrace these changes while ensuring that radio remains accessible, relevant, and reflective of our societal values. In Malaysia, we understand that while a robust infrastructure is essential for digital transformation, it is not the sole determinant of success. Therefore, we are equally dedicated to nurturing the creative talent, passion, and innovation that drive excellence in the communication industry. This commitment, which was highlighted during last year's Radiodays Asia, is paramount to our vision for the future. We must also focus on content that resonates with our listeners, content that is diverse, inclusive, and reflective of our rich cultural tapestry of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, radio and podcasting are powerful mediums that transcend boundaries and bring people together through shared stories and experiences. In our pursuit of innovation and progress, let us cherish and harness this unique ability, making sure to celebrate its human elements as we explore new technologies and format. At Radiodays Asia, you have a unique opportunity to learn from one another, to share best practices, and to build partnership, and that will drive the industry forward. The session and discussion over the next few days will undoubtedly provide valuable insight that can be applied in our respective countries and regions. In closing, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the organizers, partners, and participants of Radiodays Asia 2024. Your dedication to advancing the radio, podcast, and the audio industry is truly commendable, and I am confident that this event will be a resounding success. I assure you that Ministry of Communication remains committed to supporting the growth and development of the audio media industry. Together, let us seize the opportunities before us, innovate with purpose, and continue to make meaningful contributions to our societies through the power of radio and podcasting. I wish you all a fruitful and inspiring conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to the Chief Secretary for that inspiring speech with which to open our conference. I would like to say there are a few people at the back if you want to come up. There are seats at the front. Come on, Thomas, you can lead the charge. Yanni, I don't know if you want to, but please do come up. We won't bite. We'd love to see you. And it's too hot, even though we are working on getting that AC up and running. As an Irish woman, I love the heat. I would like to introduce our next speaker to the stage. He's the CEO of Radiodays Europe, Radiodays North America, and most importantly, he's the CEO of Radiodays Asia, and my boss, Mr. Peter Niegel.
Thank you, Nessa. Thank you, Chief Secretary. Welcome, everyone, to Radiodays Asia 2024 here in Kuala Lumpur. It's such a beautiful city. It has one of the fastest growing economies in Southeast Asia, and it also has, as I've seen, one of the most beautiful skylines in the world, with the Petronas Towers rivaling the skylines of Manhattan, Singapore, Sydney, and Toronto. So look up tonight when you continue discussions in the streets of KL. Look up and have a look at this wonderful skyline. I've been so impressed in the last 2 days walking around KL. Yes, I am the CEO of Radiodays, so it is my honor and my privilege to say welcome to all of you. Also, I would like to extend a huge thanks, first and foremost, to our partners at ABU, at CRM, at the Public Media Alliance, for helping us put together Radiodays Asia 2024 in KL. Thank you very much. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do it. I would also like to thank our sponsors, especially our gold sponsors, RCS, MovePod, Radio Info, and Pod News. Again, we couldn't do it without your support. This year in Kuala Lumpur, we are happy to see more than 300 people from all over Asia and all over the world. Thank you to all of you for coming. We're looking forward to the next few days' discussion. And in the following 3 days, we will be highlighting some of the success stories from the past year, but we'll also be talking about the threats and possibilities in the years that lies ahead. We have a wonderful industry, one of the oldest media industries in the world, but at the same time, it's also one of the most loved. We keep reinventing ourselves as we answer to the needs of our audience. Radio is still going strong after more than 100 years, and we keep coming up with new ways to reach our audiences in this digital age. There are so many possibilities, and it is our job in this room in the coming 3 days to make the most of these possibilities to learn from each other. So on that note, I would also like to say thank you to Nessa and the program group for building the program, and thank you to the team for putting on the conference. Radiodays Asia is the meeting place for radio, podcast, and audio in Asia. And our focus this year especially has been on identifying new opportunities for audio. Because while audio today still remains strong, both in reach and in importance, we also see many, many new challenges. Yes, radio is holding its reach, and new forms of audio like podcasting is gaining in listening time. But we still need to work smarter in order to do a good job in both areas. And we need to reinvent ourselves in order to stay strong, to remain relevant, and to grow, especially our younger demographics again. So when we look for new opportunities, we increasingly need to work with the new technologies in our industry. AI, visual podcasting, new digital audio platforms, digital radio, IP-based apps. We have made all these technological, that's a hard word, all these technological advances a special priority in this year's program. I hope you like the program, and there will be many good discussions over the next 3 days. So before I get off stage, I would like to highlight especially one new initiative this year that we didn't have last year. We have a full day of educational hands-on workshops on Wednesday. This is focusing on AI in one track all day and sustainability, marketing, and female leadership in the second track. I really hope you like it. I believe there are still rooms to sign up. So I hope that you'll have a look at it, and it's a new thing this year, so we look forward to hear what you think of it. Good. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoy the conference, and let's have a great Radiodays Asia 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter, for a great speech, and a nice short one as well, which I'll tell you is difficult. I would like to introduce our next guest for this opening session to Radio Days Asia to the stage. She is a long-time partner and friend to the conference, and we are so pleased to welcome Head of Radio, Ms. Olya Booyar from the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union. A big round of applause, please.
Hello, good morning, Chief Secretary, the fabulous Radio Days Asia team, Peter and Anders, Nessa, and your whole entire team. And welcome to all the ABU members who are here. It was really pleasing for me to see how many have come back here from last year and some new faces. It's really wonderful to have you here for yet another super radio and audio conference. So, I wanted to just very briefly talk about the challenges and opportunities of, that ABU has and its members seek out in radio and audio. A little while ago, I was asked by a trade journal about what my views were of the biggest challenges facing radio broadcasters in Asia Pacific. It's always the first question, and for people like myself, I thought, where do I start? How long have you got? And honestly, some of the challenges we face today are those we have always faced in broadcasting, especially in public service media. These include financials, resources, both human and technical, competition for audiences' attention, and navigating the various demands and pressure of governments, regulators, and our paymasters, including advertisers and sponsors, but especially change in everything. I mean, we always talk about that we lost our innocence during COVID, and that's correct, but we've also rebuilt structures in media environment that are radically altered, and especially in terms of trust and fighting fakery. So how is ABU helping our members address these issues? I'd like to think with vigor and ingenuity. The ABU represents members across half the Earth's surface, serving more than half the world's population, so it's an enormous challenge for us. Not made easier by the huge diversity of languages, cultures, economies, and political systems. Our members range from tiny, isolated Pacific Islands broadcasters to some of the world's biggest and most dynamic networks in countries like Turkey, India, Japan, Korea, China, and many others. So we have to do two important things. We need to tailor to those who need us most because they're still developing, and we need to maintain the interest and cooperation of those who don't really need us, except to be able to help other members come through and benefit from the great developments that's happening in our region and around the world in radio and audio. Our challenges are not unique. Everyone is struggling with change, and to retain relevance in the Asia Pacific is no different. New platforms, social media have made huge inroads, but our members in developed nations rely on technologies and adaptability just as much as everybody else. Moving audiences to new platforms, especially for streaming, podcasting, social media, and mobile devices, increasingly assisted by AI. Smaller, less resource members still rely on legacy platforms and core activities while recognizing that their audiences make ever-increasing use of their smartphones for their information and entertainment. So today's broadcasters must be really super agile, responsive to changing audiences. And the value of trust and reputation is especially exposed at present as AI makes continuing inroads into all media and the rest of our lives, really. Radio is the most human of all communications media, and happy chance plays a big part in what listeners like. And I guess that's why AI although has made huge inroads in a lot of background activities, but it hasn't taken over the thing that we do best, which is the human-to-human contact, which is a huge opportunity for us. So finally, I was asked how optimistic I was for the future of radio in the Asia Pacific, and I responded as I usually do, that, which is what Mark Twain once wrote, the reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. So while the radio of my youth, not that long ago really, but my parents' generation, very long ago, is well and truly dead, the radio that we now know and love in its many forms and on every platform, including platforms we cannot yet imagine, is and will be absolutely thriving. People love the human qualities only another voice can deliver. The growth of podcasting has proven that long-form audio has a bright future, and our ability to throw schedules out the window means that we will continue to better connect with listeners who want us when and where suits them. So over the next 3 days, you will be presented with many opportunities for exactly that. And your challenge over these 3 days is to tap into the collective experience and wisdom of everyone here and learn how to dominate your market before everybody else does. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Olya. That's words of wisdom indeed, to take those to heart and to implement them at your time in the conference, for our 2 days of conference, and then also perhaps in our workshops, which you can still sign up for, which are taking place on Wednesday. Our next speaker is a super supportive partner for Radiodays Asia. Without him, we would be floundering around, and he gives us local knowledge and global expertise. And I am so proud and delighted to welcome to the stage President of Commercial Radio Malaysia and CEO of Media Prima Audio, Mr. Nazri Noran.
Thank you, Nessa. It was so nice. Assalamualaikum. Apa khabar? How are you? Name and how? Yang bahagia Datuk Mohamad Fauzi, Ben Momaisa, Chief Secretary of Communication Malaysia, Nigel Peter, Olya Booyar, Nessa McGann, Tuan Wan Azhan, Director of RTM Sarawak. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends and fellow radio enthusiasts, it's a pleasure to stand before you today, not just as President of CRM and CEO of MPA, but also someone who has shared the journeys in this industry that we all love. Radio has always been a big part of my life, and I know it's all the same for many of you. As we gather here today for Radiodays Asia 2024, just days after celebrating our National Day, 67th year, it feels especially meaningful to discuss, learn, and innovate together. Now, radio in Malaysia is more than just a medium. It's part of our identity. Whether it's the voice that wakes up in the morning and the music that keeps us company on the road, radio is woven into the fabric days of our lives. But let's be honest, the landscape is evolving faster than ever. The rise of podcast has added a new dimension to how content is consumed, and with the implementation of AI, in our stations, we're not just keeping up, we're pushing the boundaries. We're not afraid to embrace new technology. AI is already revolutionizing how we operate, whether it's optimizing our production work, creating AI DJs, and even generating content. But as we move forward, it's crucial that we stay connected to our roots, to what makes Malaysian radio unique. Our strength lies in our diversity. So we broadcast in Malay, English, Mandarin, Tamil, and let's not to forget the rich native languages of Sabah and Sarawak. This linguistic tapestry reflects very essence of who we are as a nation. It's this diversity that allows us to reach every corner of Malaysia, ensuring that everyone, no matter how the background, feels heard and included. Not to mention, we have one of the best traffic jams in the region. I was stuck for 2 hours this morning. Yes, which is good for business because for in-car radio listening. Of course, we can't ignore the larger global context in which we are operating. The ongoing crisis in Palestine is a stark reminder of how interconnected our world is. The humanitarian crisis has touched hearts around the globe, and it's also had a direct impact on our industry, with boycotts affecting major brands and, in turn, our advertising revenue. Navigating these challenges requires not just business acumen, but a deep sense of responsibility to the communities that we serve. Closer to home, we've experienced multiple changes in leadership. Each new administration brings shifts to policy, and it's on us to adapt and ensure that the voice of radio industry remains strong and clear. At the heart of all we do is the 3R framework, which is race, religion, and royalty. These are not just the guidelines, but the core values that shape our content and our mission. So in a country as diverse as Malaysia, how we handle these sensitive topics can either bring us closer together or drive us apart. It's our duty to ensure that we're always promoting unity, respect, understanding in everything we broadcast. So as we embark on this journey together at Radiodays Asia, let's embrace the new technologies, explore the potential podcasts, and keep pushing the envelope. But let's also remember what makes us who we are, the diverse voices that come together to create something truly Malaysian. That's our strength, and that's what will keep us striving no matter what the challenges come our way. And just a quick fact, radio remains one of the most trusted sources of news globally, even in the digital age, because of its ability to reach remote areas and provide real-time information. So thank all of you for being here. Let's make this Radio Days Asia to remember. Thank you. 谢谢你, Nazri.
Thank you very much, Nazri, and they're very good words to live by. We will make this a Radio Days Asia to remember. I would just like to say that we're coming to near the end of this session, but we've got so many amazing speakers for you to listen to. In here, this is track 1, and next door is track 2. So we will split after this session and come back for the very last one on Tuesday for our finale. But before we get into all of that, I would like to welcome our final speaker in this session. I'm very pleased to welcome to the stage Mr. Wan Azan Mohamad, who is the Director of RTM Sarawak.
Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi, morning. Yang bahagia Datuk Mohamad Fauzi Muhammad Isa, Chief Secretary Ministry of Communication, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and fellow radio professionals. A warm welcome to every one of you, especially to those who have journeyed from near and far to join us in Kuala Lumpur for Radio Day Asia 2024. It is both of privilege and pleasure for us at Radio Television Malaysia, RTM, to be at this event. In Malaysia, radio is more than just a medium. It's a vital part of our national identity and communication landscape. Our diverse and multicultural nation benefit from radio ability to connect people across different linguistic and cultural backgrounds. Through our multilingual broadcasts in Malay, Mandarin, Tamil, indigenous, and various ethnic languages, especially in Sabah and Sarawak, radio serves as a powerful tool for inclusivity and cultural preservation. It ensures that every Malaysian has access to content that reflects their heritage and experiences. Radio reach extends into every corner of Malaysia, from bustling urban centers to the most remote rural areas. This unmatched accessibility ensures that radio remains a reliable source of information and entertainment for all Malaysians, regardless of their location. Whether delivering breaking news, weather updates, or engaging talk show, radio continues to play a crucial role in keeping our communities informed and connected. As we celebrate the enduring impact of radio, we also recognize the transformative role that podcasts have come to play within our media landscape. Podcasts represent an exciting new frontier for radio, offering unique opportunities for content innovation and audience engagement. At RTM, we have embraced podcasts as a means to diversify our content offering and connect with listeners in fresh and dynamic ways. Podcasts allow us to explore niche topics, tell compelling stories, and engage with our audience on a more personal level by offering on-demand content that cater to specific interests and preferences. Podcasts enhance our ability to reach and engage diverse listener segments. This new dimension of radio complements our traditional broadcasts and open up new avenues for creativity and audience interaction. Podcasts has become a popular medium for a variety of reasons, such as convenience and flexibility, variety of content, on-demand access, deep, diverse, and in-depth discussion, global reach, low production costs, engagement and community, educational value, and personalized content. As we look to the future, we are excited about the potential of integrating radio and podcast to create a richer, more versatile media experience. Radiodays Asia provides us with an invaluable platform to share insight, learn from our peers, and collaboratively shape the future of radio and audio media. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. We are eager to exchange ideas, explore new trends, and continue to champion the power of radio and podcast in Malaysia and beyond. Welcome once again to Radiodays Asia 2024. Let's make this an inspiring and fruitful event for all. Thank you. Salam sejahtera. Assalamualaikum.
So there you have it. Thank you so much. And thank you to all our speakers for their thoughts and their perspectives on what promises to be a really interesting 2 days.